Let it go, let your soul let you know where to go. I just want you to be original.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Nerds Order music interview. Today, I have a very special guest. His name is Nick Nittoli. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing great. I'm so happy you could be here. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Zach. I appreciate it.
Of course. Let's get started. So, tell me a little bit about you.
I'm originally from Garfield, New Jersey. My grandparents are songwriters. They wrote a song for Frank Sinatra called "Here's to the Band." So songwriting's always been in my family and in my blood. I moved from Garfield, New Jersey to Hollywood, California when I was very young because my mom was trying to be an actress. And I've been here ever since and tried to follow in everybody's footsteps and wanted to be in the entertainment industry. So here I am today.
Nice. So, where did your journey into music begin? Where did you start out?
I mean, I think my mom picked up like an acoustic guitar at like a garage sale and brought it home. And I just tried to play Nirvana songs on it until my fingers bled and I got calluses. So that's kind of where the journey began, but it obviously evolved. I started on a TV show on Bravo called Platinum Hit, which was like kind of like an American Idol for songwriters. A lot of huge guests were on there, Ryan Tedder, Donna Summer, etc. And these people kind of schooled us. It was like a songwriting college, and they really schooled us on the arts. And that was kind of my foot in the door in the industry. And then I've just kind of taken that and propelled it into something greater. I started working with artists like Snoop Dogg, French Montana, YG. I became a producer and then eventually caught the likes of Warner Chappell Music Publishing, got signed to a record deal and a publishing deal. And now I sit before you, man.
That's insane. Holy shit. What made you want to do multi-genre? Where did that begin?
Yeah, man, I listened to it all. Like when I was growing up, Blink-182 was probably one of my favorite bands of all time. I wanted to be Mark Hoppus and Tom DeLonge. I had all the Dickie shorts and the hats and stuff. Like I was really into them. Bush and Green Day were like huge inspirations, but I was also a Michael Jackson fan. So for me, I realized that what I wanted to be in the music industry had really never been done. There's never anybody who's really willing to stick their neck out and say, this is going to be a country album, this is going to be a rock album, and this is going to be a hip hop album, and really do it and really devote themselves to it. So I'm kind of the artist that I've always wanted to be a fan of in today's music. That's really where that merge comes from.
That's amazing. Tell me a little bit about the stuff you sent me about the country album that you mentioned and the hip hop one.
Yeah, man. So I just dropped 2 albums. One of them is like a full-on R&B album. There is some hip hop in that one, but it's mainly R&B singing and stuff. And then the other one, Songs from Out of Your Mother's Country, is that title just makes me laugh. Back to the Blink-182 thing. I'm a huge fan of them. They're funny titles. I wanted to do something funny. But that album is a full-on country album, and it's just basically me pouring my heart and soul into the love of country music. And you could hear it. It's full-on country. No hip-hop, no R&B in that whatsoever. And I just appreciate the genre. I've always loved the music. And those songs just kind of came organically, straight from the heart, to be honest.
That's beautiful. I love, like I said before, I really didn't. I first, okay, I can't speak English today. I'm so sorry. When you first reached out to me, I was very curious because, like, I have never worked with someone who was multi-genre like that before, let alone someone who did music I was never really listening to that much growing up.
Sure.
Because I was always like a metalhead and a rockhead. That was just
Right.
because that music got me through a lot of depression and shit like that.
Sure.
So I stuck
Sure.
with it. But I do like listen to everything a lot too. Like I listen to funk and a lot of stuff like that. But like hip hop and R&B, I never really went through that much. But until I actually heard your stuff, and
All right.
honestly, I'm getting into it quite a bit more.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Makes me feel great. I'm happy that I could like lead you down the path of hip hop, man. There's so many great artists that inspired me. Eminem is a huge one. Tupac Shakur, obviously. A lot of greats came before me and inspired me to be not only a rapper, but in my opinion, a good rapper, because there's hip hop that really will dissuade you from the genre completely. I mean, there's just rap. Yeah, there's trap, hibbity hobbity bullshit out there that really dissuade people from ever checking out the music. So, I focus on really being clear and not mumbling and really having bars that make you think or laugh or, you could tell have been constructed and took time. So I appreciate that.
That's actually why I lean more towards metal, because the music makes you think. And
Sure.
with hip hop and R&B, it's really hard to find that unless you find artists like yourself who actually put the time into making it. Because you're
Sure.
right, a lot of stuff today is kind of not as good as it should have been. So I'm glad there are
Yeah.
artists like you who still do that. It's kind of
Thank
bringing life back to the genre, in my opinion.
I appreciate that.
So, what is the songwriting process for you when you make the country, the R&B, hip hop, and everything else you work on?
Yeah, I'm a producer at heart now, and I've really got my production skills up. So it's really made the songwriting a lot simpler because I'm the one who's producing the music that I'm going to be songwriting over. So I kind of pre-plan things to make sure that the production is going to match whatever I'm doing, writing or singing wise. So for me, I listen to a lot of loops and I get inspired by something. I'll literally just, smoke a blunt and listen to as many loops as possible over and over until something grabs my ear. And then the moment that loop grabs my ear, I'll start adding drums and bass and kind of create the beat, etc. around that. And then kind of come up with a concept. And while I'm producing, I have the time to start thinking up lyrics and thinking up rap bars. So I kind of cheat the game a little bit. I sat in rooms as a writer for so many years before I became a producer. And I was so sick of that, waiting to find the lyric or waiting to find the melody or concept, that the production game has kind of changed it for me. Now I can just kind of think of it as I go and not be too rushed. And it just all kind of happens organically, man. A lot of marijuana. I smoke a lot of marijuana when I write music. I'll be perfectly honest.
I mean, hey, everyone has their ways of getting it done.
Sure.
That's totally fine.
Sure.
I totally get it. So I gotta think of the question here. What inspired the art for the country album? I love the way you did that artwork.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm a huge cartoon fan at the end of the day. American Dad and Family Guy, South Park. These are some of my favorite shows. And I kind of wanted a way to still have a connection to the cartoon world. And so I found it through my artwork. I do not design the stuff. There's a very talented artist who does all my artwork. And I kind of guide him, obviously, on my colors and what I want and the vibe. But at the end of the day, he does amazing artwork. And I love it, man, because it makes me feel like I'm one of these characters that I grew up watching. So that's kind of that feel.
I know the pain. Not pain. I know the feeling. I grew up with Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, Roadrunner. Like I grew up with all the old cartoons myself, so I loved seeing that. Like I got like a slapstick comedy vibe from it. I
Sure.
just wanted to confirm that. And do you be able to confirm my point on that?
Yeah, totally.
I love the artwork. That's why I wanted to ask about it.
I appreciate that, man.
What was the meaning and process behind Original?
So that song started with that guitar loop that you hear, and then I just kind of built the drums and the production around it. And the music for me sounded like folk music. It just really, that guitar loop just sounds like a folk song. So I kind of wanted to sing a hook that was really sounded like a folk song. And if you listen to that hook, that's really what it reminds me of, is like older folk music. And my message is very clear in that song. Like, I just want you to be original. And in doing that, I am original myself. So it's just kind of like me talking about myself, the truth of how I feel. I feel like too many people are over inspired by people and kind of want to be them and, try to do what they did. And so it was just a reminder to myself and others to be original and be you. There's no one's going to be able to do you like you. You know what I mean? God only made one of you. So just go ahead and be that,
Exactly. And I totally understand where you're coming from. Like everyone's trying to act like someone else. Like it's like when I first heard your stuff, I'm like, yeah, I have to give him points for originality because I've never met an artist who does R&B, country, hip hop, rap. I've never met someone who did like all the above. So
yeah, man.
Like
To be perfectly, I think I'm the only person in the music industry who's ever done that. That was another motivation for doing it. I wanted to be the first to ever do something. And I'm like, I'm sure there's nobody who released a real country album and a real hip hop album and a real R&B album. So, I wanted to put my stamp on that.
Definitely. When I first saw that, I'm like, holy shit, this guy's creative as fuck.
Thanks, man.
First, like I said before, I'm mostly a metalhead, but like hearing this, I really am leaning more. Well, not leaning more. I'm trying to listen to both a lot more now. But it's like, just
that's awesome.
I was mind blown. And after looking at more of your stuff, all the detailing, all the artwork, all the songs, I'm just over here like, yeah, no, I actually do want to work with you now. I was hesitant at first because I didn't know if I was dealing with a scammer or not, because you know how scammers go all
Sure.
Not to mention, I was surprised that someone came to me because I do more metal than anything else. So I was like just thinking about it for a few days. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's kind of my whole approach, you know, outside of the music. Like, I just want to bring people together. So you might have metal fans who follow you or etc. And I might have hip hop fans that follow me, etc. But if they watch this podcast, they'll all come together. And that's kind of my goal, is just to bring more people together and do shit that people just would not expect, you know, just come out of left field.
Yeah, that's how I am too. Like I like bringing people together through music. That's always been me. Because without music, I honestly would be dead right now. I will fully admit that.
Right
Music
on.
got me out of a lot of depression, and I actually use the song that saved me to help other people. Like
Oh, wow.
due to the music I listen to, like I always spread the music of who I work with here, and that's helped me personally. And I always
Yeah,
send
I
it
mean,
out to people who need it. And and in total, I've saved about 18 lives as of like yesterday,
wow.
using music. And it's
Wow.
been
That's great,
amazing.
man. That's great. Yeah, music saved my life too, man. I mean, I'm somebody who didn't come from money. You know, I was on the street at one point. I was homeless at one point, and music is the only thing that saved me from drugs, alcohol, you know, sex addiction, whatever it was. Music was really the only thing that I could go back to and say, I get high off this. And if I'm getting high off this, I don't need to get high off crystal meth or cocaine or whatever it is that I was doing at the time. You know, I'm totally sober outside of the weed. Like, I'm totally sober today. And it's really, you know, a credit to the music. If it wasn't for the music, you know, I wouldn't be here today either. So I relate to that.
Music's like the one friend who like never gives up on you. That's why I love
Yeah,
it. It's
that's
that
right.
little shoulder you can always cry on whenever you need it. And
Exactly.
each genre has their own place in doing it too. Like some
Sure.
songs make you smile, some help you get out a lot of your frustration and depression. Like one song that got me out of it was Shattered by a band called Currents. Their stuff is very hardcore, kind of, and their
What?
lyrics always are full of meaning.
You said Shattered by who?
Currents.
Currents. I never heard of them.
They're a metalcore group, and a lot of their like every song they make, there's so much meaning behind every track. It's when I first heard that song, I'm over here like about to take my own life at this point, and it got me out of it. But I also think to
Wow.
myself, is this guy okay?
All right.
So many of the songs have that deep meaning to it. It's insane. And I'm over
Sure.
here like, do you need a hug? That's why, whenever I listen to music, I always study the lyrics as well. Like I don't just listen to it to listen to it. I listen to it to find the meaning. And, jeez, that song still brings me tears to this day.
Wow.
Yep.
Crazy.
But I guess like music has a good healing factor to it that some people don't understand.
Yeah. Big time.
My family, why listen to metal so much? Me, have you heard the lyrics?
Right.
I had some friends like that too, and I showed them lyric sheets, and now they're like full on metalheads, hysterical as hell. But no, like I love seeing music that actually has a lot of purpose to it, which is why I fell in love with original.
Thanks so much, man. I appreciate that. That's what I'm trying to do, is just reach people and help people, you know, that might be going through some shit that I was going through a couple of years back or 10 years back, etc. You know?
Yeah, and I love always being able to connect with the artists on that too, because music is not just meant for the people; it's meant for the people who made it as well as the listeners.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
big time.
it's a venting mechanism for like all parties involved.
Big time.
And like I said, when I first heard original, I'm just like, yeah, this is really good. I actually sent it to one of my buddies who was feeling really down lately, and it actually picked him right back up. So thank you for that.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh man, that's all. That just made my day right now. That's awesome.
Yeah, what I do is I run some support groups on Discord and a bunch of other servers, and whenever I work with groups, I go through the music that they send me to see which one I think would help the most, and I just send it over to those chats.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's great that you give back like that, dude.
I mean, actually, music saving me is why I started this up in the first place. That's why I
Wow.
got this whole program started. Music got me out of
Wow.
a lot of shit, so I started this up right after that.
That's
Right.
very, bro.
Right
Very
after
inspiring.
because I hate sitting around and doing nothing. And with the pandemic, it's been like hard finding work for what I went to college for. So it's like, you know what? I hate sitting around. Let me start this up.
Yeah, I mean, when you start using that creative portion of your brain, whatever it is that you're creating, at the end of the day, you could look back at it and say, I created this or I helped somebody. And that always feels good. And if you take yourself out of yourself and help somebody else, that's the best way to kind of help yourself. It's like you're not thinking about your problems because somebody else might be, you know, going through something 10 times worse and you're helping them. And at the end of the day, you start feeling good. You're like, I helped somebody today. Like you said, you know?
Exactly. Like I just wanted to give back to music like it gave to me, and that's why I started this whole program up, honestly. And then when the chats were made, I'm just like, you know what? Let me send some stuff over and get that going. So now it's like its own little support system for like
So
people I
it's
work with
it's
and the people
a
I talk
support
with.
group on Discord, you said?
Yeah, I have to get. It's been inactive for a few days because everyone's been doing stuff. I'm gonna try to reopen it up again. Because
Awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
shoot me the link. I'd love to check it out.
I'll do what I can when I have the chance.
Awesome.
Because we've all been super busy right now over here.
Totes.
Yeah, I have like 13 videos I have to edit. Yeah, my friend took time off because he's been going through some shit, and I've been taking over editing. I miss him. Fraser, I miss you. All right, next question is, who would you love to collaborate with, in stage and on studio?
And on the stage and in the studio, you said?
Yep.
I mean, Eminem was such a big inspiration to me, man. Like to work with Eminem or to be on stage with him performing would be a huge dream come true. At the same time, I'm still that little punk rock kid with Dickie shorts on, and I would love to work with Blink-182 or Travis Barker, one of those guys. That would be monumental.
I can imagine. Honestly, I would love to work with them myself here, like speaking with them. That'd be mind blowing. Because I grew up with Blink. I grew up with Green Day, Nirvana.
Awesome.
I grew up with that too. Hell, I actually saw Sum 41 at Warped Tour. Same with Blink. Blink 182. I saw them live too.
That's so funny. I was going to ask you if you like Sum 41 because they put out a few stuff that's kind of borderline metal. So
I love them. Still waiting. Classic.
Yeah. Yes, that album was everything, dude.
Seeing that live was amazing.
Oh man, I bet.
When I went to Warped Tour, that was like the first song they played, and I'm just like, it's happening. Because I'm like,
great.
Yeah,
they're great musicians, man. I feel like they're very underrated. 41.
They really are. It's sad. Like they're so good, and people don't pay enough attention.
Yeah,
like, a lot of the artists I work with here, like I work with groups from all over the world who have really good stuff.
Yeah, I bet.
Honestly, and I'm over here like just a music head, just trying to help the band as much as I can by doing this.
Awesome, dude.
Honestly, music is such a beautiful thing.
It is.
My next question is, what is the best piece of advice you were ever given when entering music?
I'd probably say it was from a judge off the TV show on Bravo I was on, Cara Diaguardi. She's written a ton of stuff, like sold over 300 million albums as a songwriter.
Damn.
And she told me, she was like, you know, I was mouthing off and I was like being an asshole. And I said, this isn't a songwriting session. I don't need to pay attention to what you're saying. And she said, you're wrong. Life is a songwriting session. Every time you wake up and you get in an argument with your girlfriend, you're in a songwriting session. Everything can be used that you're going through in life towards your music and in a song. So she said, life is a songwriting session. And that I agree with that. I apply it to my daily life. And I think it's a little, something behind my success is that I really do take everything that I went through, whether it's addiction or, you know what I mean, not being the best artist at the time, all that stuff gets poured through my music because life is a songwriting session. So I'd say that's the best advice.
That's beautiful. That's the very first time I've heard that. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's true, you know?
It really is. It's so true.
Yeah.
You can get inspiration from the weirdest stuff. Actually, there was one band I spoke with a while ago. It's called Hulu. They're an alternative group. I have been a fan of theirs for a long time. So speaking with them was like an honor to come through.
Sure.
And one of her songs, she actually got inspiration from when a plum tree kept dropping plums on her head when she was running. And that song is really good too. It's called Stone Fruit. I'll send it over later. It is a really good song. And I'm almost like, you got that from a plum tree? And it's really good too. I'm over here like, holy shit.
Yeah, you never know where inspiration's gonna hit, man.
It's one of my favorite songs too, besides Honey Thief. That song hits so hard. Honey Thief was an insane track. I still listen to it all the time to this day. It's from like 06, but it's still extremely relevant.
Man.
Yeah, I'll definitely send it over.
Yeah, shoot it to me.
My next question is, what is the future for you? What is next in terms of releases and any new surprises?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm dropping an album called Self, Unentitled. And so it's basically songs that I probably wrote maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, songs that I used to play on acoustic guitar in my bedroom that I believe in still to this day, and some new stuff. But it's really Nick Nittoli. Like it's just, the core of what I really do at the end of the day. So I'm excited about that album coming out. And I'm working on all these new music videos. I mean, I just dropped one yesterday. And before that, I dropped one 3 days before. And before that, I dropped one a week ago. So these music videos are coming out, back to back. And they're getting a lot better. I do all of the editing myself and the video effects. And I'm getting better at it. So it's like every week, expect a better video and a new video.
That's amazing. Self-taught is very impressive in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. That's the way to go, man.
For real. Because you learn so much when you're working on your own. Like when you're just experimenting, trial and error, you can learn a lot from doing that.
Yeah, most people just don't believe in themselves enough to go ahead and give it a go. But once you take that leap and you take that jump, speaking from experience, it's the best decision you'll ever make, because now you're in a position of power. Now you know how to edit, you know how to render, you know how to do all these things. And, a month ago or 3 months ago, you didn't really know. And you just keep getting better the more you try. It's like everyone's obsessed with like somebody like Cole Bennett, who's got like amazing music videos, but he had to start somewhere. He had to take the leap and take the jump and start making music videos that probably didn't look that good in the beginning and got better. So it's all about just believing in yourself, man.
Definitely. That's how I started. That's how I felt when I started this. I'm like, this isn't going to get anywhere. I thought I would never be able to do this. And then I just said, fuck it, let's give it a shot. See what happens.
Totes.
Actually, the first band I worked with is one of my personal favorites from Canada. And I was losing my shit when he actually agreed to speak with me. Rival of Autumn. They're a metalcore group up in Canada. The drummer is an extremely nice dude. He actually told me how to use Zoom. I had no idea how to use this program until I met him. And such an awesome way to do it.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah, so far I've spoken with like 3 of my favorite bands so far, which was extremely like an honor. Arrival of Autumn, Hulu, and then Savage Chance, who actually works with the band who saved my life. And
wow,
he's actually trying to get me in touch with them, and if that happens, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Of course,
I'll cry on camera, for fuck's sake. I was actually looking through some of more of your stuff, and I noticed the I love this song. I love this album title, "Songs I Should Have Ditched." What was the meaning behind that one?
Yeah, I mean, like for me, like I said, I'm a producer, so I produce a lot of stuff. I have a lot of music, you know what I mean? So for me, it was like I wasn't that confident about these songs as opposed to other ones, but I still wanted the world to hear them. I had heard them over and over again. Some of them became really catchy to me. Me and my girlfriend were like singing them around the house and stuff. So I was like, let me put this album out and let me just call it something where people know this is not my absolute best material. But it's been a very successful album. It's sold a ton of copies, and I'm very grateful. So it worked out.
Yeah, I love the creativity with it. I just see the name and I'm already like, yeah, this will be good.
Right.
I love albums that have humor in the name. It just adds on to the music, in my opinion.
Me too, man. Take Off Your Pants and Jacket by Blink-182 was one of the funniest album titles I ever heard in my life. Enema of the State, all that stuff just really inspired me. I'm a really funny guy. At least I think I'm funny in my own daily life. So it's like I try to, merge my music just like Blink-182 did. It's like with the comedy stuff, Yeah.
Real Big Fish did something similar with one of their songs called "Everyone Else Is an Asshole." That song was great. I saw that shit live at Warped Tour as well. The same day I saw.
They're awesome.
The same day I saw Sum 41, I saw that shit live, and it was hysterical.
Same concert?
Yep. Warped Tour awesome. Warped Tour is like 50 bands in one day.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big festival, which is actually coming back after COVID. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I played on the mini stage of Warped Tour like way back in the day.
Oh, what year?
God, I'm trying to think. That's probably 2009, 2010.
Damn.
I was with a punk group called Aerial Mile. I was their front man. They had a lot of previous success on the Warped Tour and stuff. And we got out. We did a few states, a few dates, and it was awesome. That was a great experience.
Kevin Lyman launched careers, I swear. That man is a miracle worker.
Huge. Totally.
It's amazing to see what he does. Like he retired back in 2019, but he's been dropping hints of it returning. So it's like
I heard that, but the Warped Tour is still running though, yeah.
He retired in 2019. He was gonna close it down, but then he changed his mind again. He's gonna bring it back when COVID's all wrapped up.
Oh, nice, cool.
Yeah, more CDs for me to collect.
Yeah.
No, I legit have like everyone in existence from 1996 to 2000. Nice. 2018. Sadly, 95 and 8 in the last one, 2019, never got CDs. So I'm gonna make those myself later. I even got like a big ass signage right behind me, or in front of me, technically, from the last tour.
Yeah,
as
I
like
used
as the
to go to
momentum.
them like almost every year, man. I'm a huge like NoFX fan. Like I mentioned, Sum 41, Lagwagon, a lot of those bands, Bad Religion, were all on the
Okay.
bill. So we would just hop on a whole bunch of drugs and go see our favorite bands, man.
When I first went to work tour, I dragged like my best friend along, and we didn't want to leave.
Of course, it's
We saw
infectious.
we saw so many bands that we listened to a lot, like Set It Off. Oh, such a good group.
Oh yeah,
They're
totes.
great. And who else did I see there? Ice Nine Kills, Attila, Bowling for Soup.
Oh yeah, Bowling for Soup's a great
Love
one.
them.
Have you ever heard of a band called Bedlight for Blue Eyes?
They sound very familiar.
Yeah, they're like a pretty dope semi-metal group. Like their guitar riffs and stuff are pretty metal. The vocalist is not that metal. He screams sometimes, but I'll send you some links, dude. They're fucking amazing.
Definitely. I can't wait to hear them now.
Sure.
It does sound familiar. It's just I don't remember it. Like I'll have to hear it to remember kind of thing. That's how my head is.
Sure.
But yeah, I was just looking at more of your stuff today, and I'm just like speechless, honestly. Because I wasn't expecting this. Like I'm usually a metalcore freak. I didn't expect to really get as involved as I did. Like no, like I'm not trying to sound offensive or anything. It's just
No, totally.
it's out of my comfort zone. But I'm glad I stepped out of it because this is really good stuff.
Dude, that's awesome. That's like I said, that's really what I'm trying to do with people. I'll hit up a ton of people who are in different genres and podcasts and stuff that would never cover a hip hop artist, and I want to be the first. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to break out of boxes. I'm trying to break the barriers. At the end of the day, music is music, and people are people, and I'm pretty sure that we can all come together and make a cool show. So
Exactly. And I love that idea too. And that's why after looking more into this, I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's give it a shot. See what happens.
awesome.
And
I
I'm
appreciate
very glad I did. I really am.
it. Vice versa, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course, this has been actually a lot of fun. It's
Same.
it's rare for me to get out of that comfort zone of music, but I'm really glad I did because
Awesome.
this has been great. Like when I first heard original, I was speechless as hell. I
That's
really
awesome.
was. It's really hard to find people who are, like I said, who are actually original with what they do.
Sure.
Because everyone's trying to sound like everyone else, especially with like
Yeah.
modern day rappers. It's just sad. But seeing people who are that diversified, it makes it a lot better, more worth listening to, in my opinion.
100%, man. I'm like, be you. Everyone else is taken, you know?
Exactly. It's a lot of people don't get that either. It's sad. A lot of people do
I
not
love
understand
that.
that.
That's saying.
I like it too. I might have to quote that later.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, thank you again. I think I'm gonna wrap things up here because, well,
Totes.
I have no more questions to ask.
Awesome, man. Shoot me
Sorry,
those
anxiety
links. I wanna
kills
hear
me.
those bands.
What's up?
I was saying, shoot me those links. I want to hear those bands. I'm going to send you Bed Light for
Without a
Blue Eyes
doubt.
when we hop on.
I'll send you over Instagram. I will send you the link for Chatter because that song, to this day, that is my favorite song of all time. Since that song is
Oh, wow.
why I'm still breathing.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you got to shoot me that,
Yeah.
man. I want to hear.
Definitely. It starts off really hard. Like it goes right into it. But the lyrics
Go ahead.
are just so symbolic.
Oh, awesome. What state are you in, bro?
Connecticut.
Oh, you're in Connecticut. Right on. I'm in Hollywood,
Yeah.
California.
So you're the second, you're the third group from California I've worked with.
Oh, wow.
Hulu's in California, actually.
Oh, really?
Yep, and so is a deathcore group I work with called Revile CA. Awesome guys, chill as hell.
Awesome.
Yeah, no,
Awesome.
Hulu. They've been around since like the late '90s, and they're still not signed. That's because they don't want to get signed because they don't want to have to like select the genre. But
Right.
it's like, and I totally get that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're consistent, dude, and you keep doing what you're doing, I mean, like, look at bands like NoFX. Like, they just started their own record label, and now all these other bands are signed to them. It's like, if you're consistent, and especially if you came from the '90s, like, you should have a decent following, a decent amount of people on Spotify, etc. And that's what the labels are going to provide you with anyway. So you kind of beat them to the punch. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I'm just glad I'm able to do this. I never expected this to happen. I'm actually working with a label myself. DI Records. It's a small record label out of PA.
awesome.
Yep, I was working with a band called Sepsis a while ago. They told me, post what you do on our Facebook page and you can get some more bands. I'm like, okay. I expected
Awesome.
like 1 or 2 responses. I get 10 bands coming to me and a record label owner. I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Well, dude,
I wasn't expecting that.
I want to give you some inspiration. You're amazing at what you do. This is one of the best interviews that I've had. And your questions were direct, straight to the point. You did your research on me. You listened to my song. And, you know, the fact that you were speechless is just icing on the top of the cake. But you already you blew me away with the fact how you're so organized. You're very well spoken. So keep going. And it's only going to grow, man.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Because this is just a passion project I started. Like, I just want to do this to give back to music. And hearing that from an artist just makes it it makes it more worth doing, in my opinion.
100%, man. You're very talented at it, and the passion comes through. Like, I could tell you're passionate about music. You're not just doing this for clout or likes and stuff. Like, you know, you're, like you said, music was a part of your healing, and now you're kind of giving that back to the world. So it's got a great like message and a great feel behind it. And yeah, I just want to inspire you to keep going, man, because you're only going up.
Thank you. I only started just like recently too. I've only been interviewing for maybe 2 months now, maybe around that, maybe 3.
wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
I'm still just starting out. Like, I started this project up early January because that was when I was fully like mentally healed from all the crap I went through, and then I
Awesome.
just started it up right after that. Like, I didn't expect to. Like, I haven't been doing it for that long. I'm just some random kid who wanted to do this for passion, and
Dude, that's awesome.
here I am. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap things up here.
Yeah,
This has
man.
been another Nerds Order music interview. Today we had the very special guest of Nick Nittoli. Thank you so much for being here, man. This was amazing.
Dude,
You have an
vice versa.
awesome day, man.
You too, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Sure, Nick Nittoli's definite. No, I'm not Meek Mill. I'm not trying to be Eminem. I'm really just me, bruh. That shit should be evident. I don't buy this fake shit, so I gotta tell him to go. Let your soul let you know where to go. I just want you to be original. Let it go. Let your soul let you know where to go. I just want you to be original.